You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
You're listening to RevJeremy
and Georgia
on iCannabisRadio.com.
Good morning.
It's 7
He's
o'clock
He's
p.m.
making fun of me.
We're Mountain Stoner time.
I said, hey, Matt Brown's going to be on this morning. And Jared was like, how'd that go for you? Like, it was a great time tonight. I'm Georgia.
I'm Jeremy.
And we are in the studio with our producer, who's no longer an intern. He's like a real live producer. Gabe, say hi.
Hi.
And our special guest tonight, Matt Brown. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to have you. So as you guys know, Matt's been on the show quite a few times, most recently because of all the excitement going on with my 420 tours. And then last time you talked about your fun
venture.
Well, you talked about your fun time with Maureen Dowd.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. I had some people in the shop today say, you know, we read that article. What did she really eat?
There are so many people coming here expecting to have a Maureen Dowd experience.
Wanting.
That is a problem now, is too many middle-aged people coming asking for that magic candy bar that will make them pet their pants all night.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and you know what? I got to tell you that I mean, have you all worn corduroys before? Has everyone in this room, Shelby, have you worn corduroys before?
Probably not.
Really? You've been cheating.
I have.
Yeah, I have. Have you seen corduroys before?
Yes.
Yes. They're touchable. Like,
Right.
whether you are
Tactile,
baked off
yeah.
your ass, they are fun to touch. And so, really...
And drunk. I would imagine if I were drunk on a bottle of Chardonnay, they would also be incredibly delightful to touch.
Yeah.
That's
Depending on
just
who's
me.
wearing them, they could be even better.
Even better.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest with you, have never worn a pair of corduroys, personally.
You set all of us up, and then...
Yeah,
I know,
That's
I
how
know.
that's how I just felt.
Yeah.
Like, you sideswiped us.
Yeah, I just, you know, that's just not my thing. I'm not good at jeans.
Corduroys
Love
aren't
jeans.
jeans, though.
They're in the
weird
same cat.
jeans. They're really
They're
weird jeans.
they are southern cousin to the jean. You know what southern cousins are?
Trashy.
I guess. I don't know. We had to wear
I
those
feel like they're like the
pants.
Northeast cousin. They're a little too classy. They're wearing tweed.
right.
They don't quite fit in, but they don't quite stand out.
That sounds much
blend.
much more
They
accurate.
blend.
But
They
they're still
blend.
weird.
I like cords. Warren has really
They're
cute
the bow
cords
tie
that
of
have
pants.
They are. His have little cuffs on the bottom. They're really cool.
I went to private school when I was a kid, Catholic school, and we had to wear corduroys and fucking light blue polo shirts.
Did you feel closer to God in your cords?
I felt like they were really molding us to not be individuals in true religious fashion.
You know what? We can have an entire show where we talk about school uniforms. I mean, not this show.
Probably not this radio station.
Right. Sometimes we get off topic.
Right.
I'll somehow...
As parents, there's a highly academic conversation to be had
That's right.
vis-a-vis school uniforms.
My son just the other day said, I will never wear a school uniform. The middle school that he's slated to go to, well, that we're hoping that he's going to go to.
Has them.
Yeah.
Well, Cole said similar
Did you
things.
yeah. Cole doesn't like you.
Well, at first they don't. They don't like the idea of going from I get to pick out whatever I
Right.
want every day to that.
Right.
But particularly with boys, they will also very quickly realize I don't have to make any decisions in the morning because there are 4 shirts that I can wear
Right.
and it doesn't matter. And I grab whatever one is next. You can pick it up off the floor. It doesn't matter. And to a
Right.
boy, like by middle school, he's going to smell anyway. I
Right.
feel like the fact that the shirts, he doesn't have to think about it, is probably better for him.
I agree.
But it'll take a little while. You can't coax that one ahead of time.
No. Philosophically, I don't feel a need. I understand that. I mean, there are a bunch of reasons why this happens. Philosophically, I want to see kids express themselves with what they wear.
Right.
And what color their hair is and all those kinds of things. However, that has nothing to do with Sprout House. Actually,
Very true.
I take it back. It sort of has everything to do with Sprout House because...
Tell me more.
Yes, because, you know, the idea of think tanking and processing and all those kinds of things comes from the ability to have a conversation about anything and take it anywhere. And that's how ideas are developed. But I kind of jumped the gun because we want to talk a little bit about Sprout House, what Sprout House is,
and was, and will be.
Absolutely. So you started Sprout House in April.
April 3rd, 2014, yes. So like you said, I was at my 420 tours before, which more than anything gave me a year of an incredible opportunity to, one, speak with the media and to, in a way, become sort of the de facto spokesperson for a lot of what we were doing here in Colorado, because the organizations that we have were not talking to nobody wanted it to be a cheerleader at the same time that my 420 Tours was a big cheerleader for how awesome Colorado is. So I saw that I got to meet a lot of great people. I handed that over to my partner at the end of March, and it's still going on now. And I stepped back and I did basically what I've always been trying to do. I chased this to Canada and back. We talked a little bit before.
Yeah.
To create a place where to build the Silicon Valley of cannabis innovation for the world. The place where somebody who has a new product idea, a medicine, a relaxation, a recreation, a cultivation technology, whatever good idea needs to come be around other people who have good ideas. I wanted to sort of get down that path. And so in the beginning of April, I had this awesome opportunity. I stepped away. I started the new company. We launched over 420. We had the Sprout House Suite, and 42 straight hours, people up, just hanging out and kind of saying what they would do if, pontificating, if you will. A whole range of ideas. And I've taken the last couple months. I was able to synthesize it and get some ideas of here's how, the kind of research that needs to happen for the world to take what we watched on the Sanjay Gupta special a year ago on CNN of a little kid, 6 years old, in the span of 45 minutes, go from on the verge of death with epileptic seizures to cured from 1 to 200 milligrams of purified CBD oil.
Yep.
And that's awesome. And now that we all know, and the word about that is getting out, there's this increasingly growing push for those sorts of products. But we also are still trapped in this tiny scale marijuana industry that constrains the way we approach the product and what we're doing. So I wanted to just set down the path to say 2, 3, 5 years from now, marijuana will be legalized at the federal level, or at least decriminalized and sent to the state. We are on the rapid path now for things changing in a big, huge way.
Yeah.
And we're catching up on 3/4 of a century of lost innovation in marijuana, that while it's been prohibited, that every other industry out there, from Whole Foods to pharmaceuticals to alcohol and tobacco and everything in between, have had that innovation, have learned bad lessons. We've had flipper babies along the way, and now we do different things with certain drugs to make sure we don't have flipper babies.
Right.
We had a Maureen Dowd along the way, and now we can help ease that off for people who don't want it,
Yeah.
So that leads basically to where we are, that at some point along the way, all these research plans and things that I'd been doing quietly really for years here in Canada came together, and I was approached just over 3 weeks now ago in what seems like the first 5 minutes of the Facebook movie of, hey, we heard about you and we know you and we've been talking off and on, we've said hi for months, but we have this core technology in a company and we would really like to buy you out and bring you on board to help lead us and bring everything that you've done, and then go recruit your team. Go hire, go buy, find the people, the products, and the technology that are changing cannabis policy, and give them a home to give them whatever they need to go innovate. And so last week we announced I sold my company. Less than 90 days in, we got absorbed, and now Greenhouse Solutions, I am the new CEO. Not I will be. As of last Thursday, I am.
Congratulations.
And immediately taking real institutional level business infrastructure, people, assets, money, intention, everything, and saying we are going to blast out here in Colorado every possible horizon on, the next level of cannabis innovation that we can. And I have this awesome opportunity now to go out and do that and to put all of my ideas into the real world.
So what is it going to look like? What do you imagine it looking like?
So
because we think
I have
tank,
to be
but
somewhat careful in that I am now also the CEO of a public traded company, and these are public statements, and there are big things coming that I will talk about soon. I can't today.
Yep.
What I can say is what I want to do is take as many of the details, in the onion, peel off as many other bullshit layers as I can for somebody to say, you are a person who is doing something truly awesome. You have a plant. You have a product that you are making on your kitchen stove or in your MIP in Colorado or wherever it is that needs to go to the next level. And I need you to not think about anything other than what can I do to make this bigger, better, more awesome in the real world. And that, I think, also builds in that we are a cannabis community. It's not, go being the biotech company that puts frog genes in cannabis and tries to tell everybody you can't grow this. It's finding a way to build the kind of facility where everyone in the state who wants to breed and find new non-psychotropic cannabis strains, they have licensing that they can come in and they can just focus on doing their breeding and being around the other smartest people in the room. And if that somebody needs a salary and needs a job to come on board and help create their product in my company, then I've been given pretty clear authorization from everybody within the company. My chief goal is to find them and to recruit them, buy their company, hire them off, do what I have to do. And there are other people who that's not the right path. I'm never going to, go to somebody who has a successful business and just try to swing my weight and buy them out.
Right.
What I can do is say, I'm going to give you an office next door to my office. And our cafeteria is going to have the 30 smartest people doing this same thing in the world who are all coming together the same way we did in college and create that environment where truly life-changing technologies and people come out of. Whatever form that goes down soon.
So that's so exciting. So how are you going to find these folks?
I'm going tonight to the ArcView group. I will be actually probably joining there very soon. We've talked, there's a lot of other details. I'm going through some pretty big real estate and things right now as we build the team. My core team, I call my parachute team, are people who I've worked with for years, and I know how you can help me on day zero, and we've worked together, and I'm able to bring them in. After that, I will be out NCIA events, ArcView events, any of the industry things around the country, particularly if there are people doing pitches. I want to go to Startup Weekend here in Colorado and be, sooner rather than later, a sponsoring partner of that to connect where there are people who have ideas but don't necessarily know how to take it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will be able to get through this next few weeks, get the real estate that I'm looking at, be able to announce the specific property. And I think that will do a lot of recruiting for itself.
Exciting.
If I can say one thing about the company, my goal is to draw a bullseye on GW Pharmaceuticals and to say, in 1998, that was smart. And it's 16 years later, and we'd still not legalized in the United States. And had they gotten through FDA trials 5, 10, 15 years ago, that would be an incredibly powerful pharmaceutical patent.
Right.
But they didn't. And if we stand here in 2014 looking forward at what 2016, 2018 looks like, we're on the verge of not having cannabis to have to be prescribed by a doctor in order for people to get the benefit. And we're seeing, I think, the greatest monetary value and the greatest medical value comes through this whole range of different products doing different things for different people, instead of trying to find one alcohol tincture of 50% strain A and 50% strain B. The facility I'm looking at is several times larger, many times larger than GW Pharmaceuticals, than Bedrocan in the Netherlands, than Plant Prairie Systems in Canada. Some of the biggest sole source federal licensees that have spent over a decade, most of them, proving that they can behave themselves like a pharmaceutical company and just consistently churn out the same mediocre product that has demonstrable benefits to MS patients or whatever. But instead to be realizing that right now we have a different need. We need somebody who can get as soon as possible to being able to deliver CBD, CBN, CBG, CBC, all the non-THCs that we know in multi-ton quantities, purified, organically grown and produced, that the next generation of Dixie Elixirs or whatever products people can make at home, that we have the genetics available for the people who do want to grow it themselves. And there is a lot that can be done. This isn't about boxing out somebody from growing pot at home. This is about expanding the products to, the 80% of adults who don't choose to smoke marijuana but have all the same conditions those of us who do smoke marijuana do. And it's going to take somebody focusing, I think, on that long-term supply chain of cannabis before, we will be able to unlock all of the benefits that we see. I had somebody contact me completely out of the blue the other day who for 3 years now has been making a cell for his wife's cold sores that she gets consistently every year. And it decreases the cold sore, makes it go away in half the time of a Breva, which previously was prescription only. Currently, it's the strongest over-the-counter you can get. We all know of examples like that, of some product that we made for some person with a condition, and we're able to make them at home most of the time.
Right.
We're in not terribly sophisticated environments.
Right.
But what is lacking is then a way to scale that up and to not have to sell our soul to the devil in the process, to not get patented out and be locked out of being able to use this stuff. The work that we're doing right now is the pioneers before it's federally legal. So we just need to find a way to bring together people who have those ideas, and whatever it takes to make them happen and bring them into the world, whether they're part of my company, their company, or whatever. That's my mandate going forward.
It's so exciting because this is what other industries do. I mean, this is how innovation happens. People get together and they call them think tanks. This is they're really do tanks, and that's how new ideas flourish, and that's how advances occur. And we've never had the ability to do what every other business, every other industry does, which is get together and make advances.
And it's exciting that we also get to do that from scratch, and we get to learn from the mistakes that we're also aware of.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to just assume we're going to be the Walmart in every worst connotation possible.
That's
but
right.
instead say, I'm going to put a product that is low cost and consistent that can save people without getting ego caught up in the process onto every shelf of every store in the world that I can.
Yeah.
Coming into the world and saying we're in 2014. It's a different time, it's a different place, and now that we can, in a sense, pretend in a way that, in a sense, we just invented marijuana. It hasn't been illegal for 75 years in the context of an extract that doesn't get you high, that cures little kids with epilepsy. And it takes all of us, I mean, not just one or two of us, coming forward and just daring to say, this is the way it is. We are Silicon Valley. We're inventing our way. We're creating our businesses that are different than what you see in other industries.
Right.
But we enjoy all the same protections and the same privileges as other businesses. And that's only available here in Colorado right now, here in the United States.
So exciting. We're going to take a quick break, and then I want to talk a little bit about your background that makes this a pretty perfect fit for you.
Thank you.
You're listening to iCannabis Radio, and we'll be right back.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
The Law Office of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provides criminal defense, family law, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running a medical marijuana center, optional premises cultivation operation, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout the state of Colorado. We're focused on providing high-quality service and customer satisfaction. We will do everything we can to meet your expectations. WarrenEdson.com. Edson, Maiden, and Matz in Denver, 303-831-8188, and in Aspen, 970-948-7183. WarrenEdson.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's Monday night, and we're going to watch the sunrise here in a few moments.
So, Matt, you had a life and a career before it went to pot.
I did.
And so,
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about after school in Boston.
Yeah, so my degree's in finance. I went to Boston University. I worked first for Bloomberg Finance in New York City. I had several jobs there. I was at one point the chief recruiter for the 2005 school year for pretty much everybody coming into the business side at the university level. And I got to invent the Islamic banking platform, which was a really cool little side project where I just pitched it to the CEO one night and he said yes. From there, I went to Accenture. I was a business strategy consultant for, I think, 2.5 years. Cardinal Health, Best Buy, Packard, the people who make Kenworth trucks. I got to do a lot of really cool things with big companies. And in 2006, I moved here to Colorado. I was sick of the East Coast, and I was traveling anyway, so I came here. I had a tech startup from 2007 to 2008, and then right around the time Lehman Brothers and everything else went to went to pot. So did I.
Aha, that was good. Well done.
So I met Georgia and her fine husband in the summer of 2009 when I became the first marijuana business consultant to sort of pop up and help people, before we had any rules, to follow the business regulations every other industry had when we were trying to figure out what dispensaries should or would look like in the absence of any rules. So from late 2009 through 2010, I was really the first spokesman for the industry. We had a lot of advocates here. We had a lot of people speaking for patients. This was 2009, 2010 was the first time the business industry in Colorado stood up and asked for business regulations. I worked with Senator Romer and Representative Massey and Matt Cook from the Department of Revenue to help copy a lot of the rules that we had in the casino system and create what became the foundation for Colorado's business regulations for marijuana. That led to a number of other consulting projects in-house. I had another startup that got bought out a couple years ago and really has led me along a path till today of working on increasingly big projects that all tie back to the goal that I first became a patient in 2007. I have Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed when I was 19 in 2001. My dad's had Crohn's disease since he was 18, so my whole life. He'd had half of his intestines removed when I was 2. He's an RLDS minister. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke cigarettes, definitely didn't smoke pot. We didn't talk about pot growing up. But he'd had diarrhea every day of my life. I mean, every family experience had an asterisk on it of road trips stopping at an obnoxious number of McDonald's for bathroom and ice cream breaks or camping close to the bathroom. I moved to Colorado about a year later. I became a patient. I was patient 5,200 something. And I started growing my own. It was before we had dispensaries. I did all my own breeding and created strains that worked for me. And it became the absolute best therapy that I've had for my Crohn's. And once I was given the opportunity to kind of help certainly create the business regulations, but then to create businesses in this new world, I've always gone back that my goal is to create the products that help me avoid a dozen bathroom breaks every day, but that won't get my dad high. So I can give people like my dad, that other 80% of adults who have Crohn's disease and don't smoke pot, even if it's not 100% of the benefit that I get, if they can get 40, 50, 75%, 90%, whatever.
Right.
The summer after my freshman year, the same summer that I got diagnosed, my dad had a liver transplant, 2 in 1 week. He was on 16 Imodium AD a day for a while just to keep the diarrhea manageable. And as someone who never drank, had cryptic cirrhosis of the liver, i.e. we don't know why, but it died in a year. That was scary. And it happened 2 months before I was diagnosed myself. I knew what was coming. I'd self-diagnosed before I went to the doctor, and the same doctor had been treating my dad for 20 years and diagnosed me,
Yeah.
So there's always been that very powerful connection. I got into this, and it was 2.5 years after I'd been a patient before I had that conversation. My dad Googled me January 30th, 2010, and sent me an email saying, "Matt, I'm guessing you're not the ultimate fighter. Maybe you're the pot guy in Colorado, and you want to give me a call." My mom didn't talk to me for 2.5 months. She put it on the altar of God and couldn't wrap her head around it at first. Fast forwarding 4 years, they are the biggest advocates for me and could not be more proud now that we've had that level of conversation where I've been able to say, I smoke weed and I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And they understand that I'm now able to leverage in a very strange way, being voted most likely to succeed in high school and being the kid who's never been arrested for anything, anywhere, at any time, and use that to be more and more and more public on the issue of I smoke pot and it fixes me. In a light switch way, I avoid a dozen bathroom breaks a day. I challenge anyone to say that I'm not a smart, successful, responsible adult.
Right.
And I want to do what it takes to take that to the next level for everyone else who doesn't necessarily want to get high. And I think for those of us, who are passionate about marijuana as a movement and as a cause for our generation, this is also the chance for us to make more strides with the non-pot smoking community than we ever have. When you can systematically dismantle the idea that there is something inherently evil about marijuana, when all of a sudden there are hemp products on the shelf at Walgreens or Walmart or Target or King Soopers or you name it. And it then, I think, speeds up the day that we can all just smoke pot because it's fun, and at the same time we can cure people because it's medicine.
That's right.
And we can do both without one being ashamed of the other.
So what's your feeling about CBD-only legislation?
It's a waste of time in a sense, but it's a baby step. It's a wasted opportunity. The people pushing for single strain CBD only legislation, I think, have failed to make an attempt to think bigger and to try harder. If you can get that through, you can try a little bit harder and get something a little bit more societally beneficial. But if given a choice between take it or leave it, I mean, we both grew up in Missouri. I can't wait for the day that Missouri passes it the same way Colorado has. It's not as close as Colorado was, obviously, but CBD-only legislation passed there. And maybe that is the trial balloon that needs to get passed into law so that 6 months later we can come back and put in a real bill. Maybe it's the thing that goes through and wakes the legislature up that the voters are going to pass something even bigger and worse if they don't get their act together.
Yeah.
Or it fires up the voters to say, well, our legislature dropped the ball halfway through, and so thank you for getting us halfway there. Now we're going to finish the job for you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we keep fighting, and more than anything else, I just see the drum beat of inevitability. And there need to be, as there are, people on the ground building the grassroots, taking the experiences in the front lines like Colorado and California and Washington and anywhere that was first in some respect to each and every state. We need different people at the national level fighting from a variety of different voices towards this goal. And we also need people to step forward and look over and pass that day and to sort of, I don't plan on talking too much about pot banking or any number of which state is next for passing a dispensary bill or whether or not New York's medical marijuana bill is good or bad. There are plenty of people fighting that fight and paying attention to that. I'm simply getting ready for the day that I say, this is now inevitable. And it will be on Utah and Ohio and Colorado and Florida and Maine and everywhere in between, and Canada and Jamaica and South America. Who's getting ready for that day? Who is planning for that inevitability so that we can take advantage when we're there and we don't then, as a movement, legalize, decriminalize, do something at the federal level that really firmly moves the ball, and then not be ready as an industry with our own solutions and be then ripe to a bigger fish coming in and just writing big checks and buying out the players and taking this in a very different direction because we're not prepared. And I think we can undermine a lot of that by planning our own intellectual property, getting our patents, getting our plant breeders' rights, getting our cultivation technologies, locking down what we can lock down by working together as a complete, rush against the Pfizers of the world coming in and doing what GW did, which was buy 18 relatively uniform, plant patents, making a mediocre product 16 years ago, and then just fighting one very specific battle at getting it approved.
Well, and I think it's so vital that people understand that, this grassroots movement that started so very many years ago, people who were engaged at the beginning didn't have business backgrounds necessarily. Some folks did, but for the most part, it was people who were passionate about the plant and took that passion to the activist level and moved this forward, but didn't necessarily have this huge business background. Now, people are seeing this as a huge moneymaker and are taking advantage of those folks who don't necessarily have the business acumen, the experience. They have far more experience in cannabis and the plant and all those kinds of things than any of these business folks do. But the result, if given the opportunity, is all of
either
those.
one can trend to their natural end conclusion away from where we need it to be.
That's right.
Or I think we can. I fundamentally believe we can also harness that before it gets out of control, and we can say, it's not bad that there are people wanting to make money on the plant.
That's right.
We should not be vilifying business, because business itself is, as much as I sound like a Republican, it has been one of the greatest, forces for social change, in that it has made millionaires who can then dump massive amounts of money around into nonprofit or into trying new things or, whatever. But it also means we have an opportunity to raise the bar and to not just simply go for the lowest common denominator and just make drug dealer money because there's some drug dealer money to be made, but instead to recognize where we stand at this crossroads of history and set it up to be an incredibly awesome business play and the biggest advocacy and activism progress that's ever been made without either one, jeopardizing or damaging or having to trade off from the other. And I think Colorado is one of the few places where we do see that. We had that land rush mentality that came in originally. That it's always been like Oklahoma for me. July 20th, 2009, the Department of Health voted no to the 5 patient per caregiver rule, and overnight, the floodgates opened, and we had hundreds by the end of the year. Any of the states that come along trying to just copy our regulations, but then have a beauty pageant to limit arbitrarily the number of licenses, you don't get the people who are passionate about, I'm going to be there at 6 a.m. and I'm going to stay there till midnight every single day. And we're, my buddies who opened a store, the power went out when they were painting. We pulled cars up and shined the lights through the window after sunset, and we're still painting. It looked like crap the next morning. It was a great base coat. Like, that level of passion exists in Colorado in a way that it does not exist in many states that have followed us. And we are also at a crossroad. We can lose that passion and that advantage that we have by simply letting people go for a common denominator and get away with it and make easy, decent money, be the only business examples that we show.
That's right.
And hopefully I and yourself and others are here to raise the bar and show that we can do all of that and a whole lot of good and not have to, limit people's rights or limit people's whatever. That this is a good thing.
Absolutely. So tell us the name of the company again.
Greenhouse Solutions, GRSU. I do need to learn that. GRSU on the OTC market.
GRSU. And is there a place yet where people can find out more information?
We filed the 8K with the SEC, which has my background. That's the only officially filed information that's there. Sprout House and the Greenhouse Solutions sites are both in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
We have that. I am working out details to people who are on my list. People who sign up for the email list through the site will definitely get first notification as I make filings and as we make things official. And I will be back here because I live here and I love all of you fine folks, and this tends to be the
before
first
hoes.
place. If you're looking to find it here first, I generally try to stop here first. I bumped Al Jazeera for you last week.
Yes, you did.
Time, so
thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure.
Matt Brown, we are extremely proud of you and so happy and can't wait to hear about all the amazing things that Greenhouse Solutions is going to be doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Yes.
Go put a fancy suit on.
I am. I'm going to go look pretty. This suit cost half as much as my truck.
This is the most casual I think we've ever seen you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, and I feel particularly errand mode today. I'm sweaty. I need a shower. I've definitely got to go look pretty.
Okay, go look pretty. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Matt Brown with Greenhouse Solutions. Sprout House was acquired by this company, and it's going to be pretty exciting for Colorado and the cannabis industry in general. And thank you guys so much. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
The Law Office of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provides criminal defense, family law, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running a medical marijuana center, optional premises cultivation operation, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout the state of Colorado. We're focused on providing high-quality service and customer satisfaction. We will do everything we can to meet your expectations. WarrenEdson.com. Edson, Mayton, and Matz in Denver, 303-831-8188, and in Aspen, 970-948-7183. WarrenEdson.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Chalk it up, Colorado.
I love the Gary Johnson intro. We can't get rid of that.
There's a hits from the bong one. I wanted to put there, but I don't know what that is.
We'll have to look into.
We'll
some
have to
of
listen
these.
to it. So that was. I'm so excited. Isn't this? I mean, this is an industry. This is like any other think tankable. This using the Silicon Valley analogy makes. I mean, this is how .coms got started. People had their ideas. They got together. They were innovative. They fed off each other, and now we have the internet.
And now people still feed off each other, but it's much more selfish and much more condensed. And it sort of became an everybody for himself, especially here in Colorado, where it's a competition to see who can have the biggest ego. It's like, oh, let me whip my ego out and slap it on the table.
Right.
Well, that's just totally not necessary, but it's how things work, and it kind of sucks.
Well, and there's room for people who want to make money, and there's room for people who want to make innovation, and there's room for people who are both. And I think Greenhouse Solutions is going to be a great opportunity for people to have the resources to be able to make advances in research that we've never done before.
Which is really needed right now. The more that we can understand every little thing that we're getting ourselves involved in, like you said, all the different cannabinoids, the better off this is going to be. We say, well, how does cannabis cure cancer? We say, well, we don't know.
We don't know, but man, it does. Does it? I don't know. There's never been any proof that it cures cancer.
Well, none that you've personally seen, but there's plenty of stories out there.
There's
success stories out there.
There are stories, absolutely stories.
So, right, but it's like aliens, it's going to be, you're not going to believe it until it happens to you or you see it on TV. That sucks.
I'm not going to believe in aliens, even if it happens to me.
Well, you don't think that we're alone, do you?
I don't think that there's such a thing as aliens, though. I think that there are. That's like discriminatory.
Alien is just a word to explain somebody that's not from around here. It's kind of like foreigners.
Let's call them foreigners.
So they're extraterrestrial foreigners.
Do you believe in zombies?
On what level? Because yes, when you go walk by a group of kids that are sitting there, and
then there's
that to me is a zombie.
I meant the eating your brain kind.
Me and Jenny used to do reports week after week after week on the zombie epidemic that seems to start with bath salts and random other weird drugs. I'm not sure if you've ever seen like Scanner Darkly or John Dies in the End. But there's a lot of great movies out there that show these crazy, weird drugs, which is, I don't know, prophetic maybe, because now there's this large influx of all these test substances out on the market. All kinds of random things, from stuff that looks like acid called DOC to bath salts that make you eat people and your dogs and stuff. And so, do I believe in zombies? Yeah, ish.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny really liked them, so it's like, well, fuck. But do I believe in zombies like on TV where they're going to just raise up out of the ground and come out and eat people's brains? No. That seems a little silly, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
What about you, Shelby? Zombies, yes or no?
I think
You got to just stroke it. Oh, wait, this isn't Tuesday night. Just rub it. That one's even limper.
Vampires, yes or no?
I don't believe in vampires.
Vampires, yes or no?
Are we talking about...
Oh, my God. Vampires, yes or no?
Well, if we're talking about
vampires,
bloodsuckers...
yes or no?
Politicians, yes. Blood-sucking politician, parasite type things, yes. I don't know. I don't entirely not believe it, but it's not entirely on the forefront. But
werewolves, yes or no? No. And
after Twilight, I don't want there to be werewolves or vampires. I'm not gonna lie. Like Twilight fucked up a lot of things.
I know.
And so, but where are we going with this?
It's just a question.
Because
this to me is I mean, not this conversation because it is silly, but the idea of being able to sit with like-minded people and talk about ideas and thoughts that may spawn some amazing ideas that is going to advance the cannabis movement and products that we have available for people. And I mean, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. I'm really excited for Matt. It's exciting.
It sounds like he's doing awesome things. I'm excited for a lot of things that are happening here in Colorado.
Well, this is going to give people the opportunity who have a mad passion for whatever it is that they're doing and don't have the financial resources, the space, all those kinds of things to move forward with those ideas. I mean, that's what Greenhouse Solutions is going to be able to help with.
Which will be exciting.
Yeah.
Because if we don't set the standards, somebody will set them for us.
That's right.
And when they do it, they suck at it. Because look at the shape that they are in. Who is they? Whoever you want them to be.
And that's exactly Matt's point, is when GW Pharmaceuticals tries to set those standards by making and patenting a product, or Pfizer comes in and decides that they want to patent strains so no one else can grow them and those kinds of things. I mean, then we've lost out. Then we've lost out.
It was my understanding that you can't patent a plant, but that's...
You can patent a plant.
So why has nobody patented the rose?
There are types of tomatoes and all those kinds of things that are indeed...
So if you could get special tomato seeds from a patented tomato plant, you could grow them and get in trouble?
No, well, like Early Girl or whatever. Somebody owns Early Girl tomatoes. Whatever that, that patented seed is. Someone owns that. They designed and made Early Girls.
So now what are the odds of...
100 to 1.
By 2020. That was too many 20s, but I was just checking to see if anybody playing the home game is paying attention. Good morning once again.
It's a beautiful sunset.
It is a beautiful sunset on this fine Sunday morning.
It's for you, Sarah.
Wheel of Fortune's coming up next. And slow down. Get off my grass, you dirty hippies. Sarah, that was for you. Anyways, wait. On the shout-out level, we're supposed to shout out for somebody else, but I think he keeps coming in and out of the room. So
who are we shouting out for?
My buddy Sideways is in there. I want to say hi to Sideways.
You have a buddy named Sideways?
I do, and he's fucking awesome. He sat and watched the sunset with us, too. It was fucking awesome.
Does Sideways have an actual name?
He does, but it's Sideways.
His mom didn't name him Sideways.
No, that's not his actual name. No.
Hi, Sideways. Thank you so much for listening tonight.
So, yes. Anyways, and sunsets are great. It doesn't matter what time of the day you watch them. I mean, they're better at 7 in the morning if you watch them in the mountains with your friends.
That's right. So we're going to take a little premature break, just by a couple of minutes.
Premature break all over the place.
Yeah. And when we come back, we're going to have some joke telling.
Some anti-jokes.
The anti-jokes.
We've got a couple of anti-jokes for you.
They're funny like Jeremy.
We'll ask... dry and pointless. We'll ask Shelby some questions, I suppose, and we got to give a shout-out to her friends if, he can... Comcast. We got to have a shout-out to Comcast. Our public service message tonight is brought to you by the website Funny or Die. So Funny or Die, if you're listening, we're sending people to you. We're not stealing your shit. Yeah. But they really hit Comcast right where in the truth hole. So we'll be right back.
The Law Office of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provides criminal defense, family law, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running a medical marijuana center, optional premises cultivation operation, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout the state of Colorado. We're focused on providing high-quality service and customer satisfaction. We will do everything we can to meet your expectations. WarrenEdson.com. Edson, Mayton, and Matz in Denver, 303-831-8188, and in Aspen, 970-948-7183. WarrenEdson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On Grass. Runongrass.com. Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On Grass. Runongrass.com.
And we're back.
Hi.
So hello. Hello to you.
Can I really quick talk about Couple Collimore and Company?
Please do.
So, we talk about this every week, but it's really important. If you are running a business, as the places that are a part of Greenhouse Solutions will be doing, it is so important to understand what your insurance needs are. And it's so funny to be able to talk about insurance needs in the marijuana business. I mean, this really is like any other business, and you need all kinds of insurances, including liability. And one of the best places you can go with people who have experience in the cannabis industry is Cuffell Collimore and Company, KuffellCollimore.com, CuffellCollimore.com. It's my dad. And he would love to talk to you and give you a quote and walk you through what kind of coverage makes sense for you. And, you know, he really understands this industry, and he really understands the specialized kinds of needs, because when he started covering companies, there wasn't coverage. He had to go out and beat the bushes to find it. So give him a call, Cuffell Collimore and Company, and you won't be disappointed. Just tell him that you heard about him on iCannabis Radio.
Maybe save your shit.
Right? Could save your shit.
Totally.
Yeah. Shelby, what have you been doing this summer?
First of all, Colorado's glad to have you.
As always.
As always.
I'm glad to be here.
Step up to the microphone. Don't be afraid.
It might smell. Sometimes they smell.
That's weird.
It's, you know what?
I've never smelled the microphone.
You've never smelled. See, that's why I use this one. I won't use those, because those
are the ones that you don't have to be up on. These ones are the ones that you gotta go.
for some reason,
Pretty much gotta.
those absorb odors.
Oh.
But not germs or anything. Don't you worry. Lick it. Go ahead. No.
No thanks.
They
So-
taught you in radio school to bring you around.
See. Okay, Shelby. So, what have you been doing this summer? I think is what before I got off on a tangent.
I've pretty much just been hanging out.
You've done a little traveling.
This is true. I went back up to Montana. Also, I got a season pass to Elitch's.
So you've been riding some roller coasters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got stuck and threw up on one.
What happened?
I'm afraid of heights, and I got stuck on the Tower of Doom.
Oh yeah.
It
And you
was
threw up on the
awful.
top.
No, when we were coming back down, and like I stepped off of it, and then I was like, I
You
just
heaved.
felt it. I got sick and threw up in my mouth. It was gross.
We're
I bet.
Gonna go have a rematch tomorrow.
I want to go.
Me and
go.
Jeremy are going.
You gotta skip out on work.
I got to work.
I gotta come by your work and get some treats.
Yeah. I have some Elitch's juju to get rid of.
Well, then you should be going to Elitch's
I
with
know.
us. You can always meet us there after you go in for a half day. I gotta go home. I'm sorry. Just don't foursquare when you get to Elitch's.
Right. Not a problem.
Georgia's at Elitch's having a great time.
I almost never tag myself somewhere. Every once in a while, but for the most part, I don't need people to know where I am. People don't care where I am.
Nobody
that's
really
why-
cares where people are.
No.
I tagged myself when I was working at my little spot at Unit 3 because I called it Area 42, and that just seemed like fun. So, because I made a place on Spaces, so it felt nice to tag it there.
Cute.
And yeah,
So you guys are gonna go tomorrow?
yes.
Yeah. Are you gonna do Tower of Doom again?
Maybe.
That one freaks me out.
As long as shit don't spin, I don't do the spinny rides anymore.
Can you spin? You'll spin.
At a
Yeah.
certain age, you can just spin and spin and spin. It's like, oh, you could leave this ride going. Now it would take 3 spins around, and I'd throw up on everybody around behind me. It would be awesome until that throw up got back to me. Teacup. See, I don't think I could do the teacups anymore. And after the accident, I'm not too terribly sure what all I can do, but I don't give a fuck. I'm going to try. try it
So
over.
there's a ride next to the Twister 2 that it just goes around in a circle, and it goes up like this, around in this circle,
Oh, yeah,
and then
that
it backs.
little dragon roller coaster thingy.
What color is it?
What color is it?
I haven't been there in years.
I don't remember. It's right next to the Twister 2. Anyway,
We'll look tomorrow. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
yeah.
Oh, does it have music notes on it?
I hear they got
Flip upside
metal
down?
detectors.
You don't flip upside down. You just go like this.
They
And
got
like
metal detectors to get into Elitch's now. They patch it down, give your fanny a squeeze. Or no, they don't patch it down, but you got to take all the metal out of your pocket. It's like, how am I supposed to bring a vape pen?
Oh, they won't necessarily take it away from you.
Well, they fucking better not.
No.
I just won't smoke it in line. But I'm not going to beat Elitch's and not get high. Got to
Well-
control that anxiety and pain somehow.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Well, that sounds fun. So,
What other fun things have you done since you've been out here? This is Colorado, damn it. I see lots of fun pictures. See you with a giraffe.
Oh, I went to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo.
oh, yay. I've never been there. Did you feed the giraffe?
I did. Giraffes are my favorite animals. I was freaking out.
Aw.
I had the biggest smile ever.
Now, did the giraffe lick you? Sometimes they lick you. Yeah. How was that?
It felt weird.
I bet. It's a big tongue.
I took a selfie with the giraffe.
Nice. Good girl. Good girl. How fun. That sounds awesome. Tomorrow should be a nice day for Elitches, too.
Well, I think I saw that it's supposed to be cloudy with 40% chance of rain, so I'm really hoping that keeps people away. And
Yeah.
like, maybe I don't want to go today. But that's not how Coloradans think. We think clouds, let's fucking go. You know, it's the day not to get sunburned, so it's going to probably be extra packed. But
You can bring swimsuits, too, and go in the water park?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to go to Elitch's. Fuck.
Waterworld? Yeah.
Because I see that they have that new water roller coaster, and it's like, well, it's about time, duh.
I've never been to the Waterworld part.
Well,
It's-
oh really?
Really.
It's fun.
It's,
Definitely bring your suit
Yeah.
and some sunscreen.
Did you bring one?
I did.
Awesome. Okay, well, prepare, and we'll tomorrow will be a fun day.
That sounds awesome. All right, we promised them some anti-jokes.
Oh, anti-jokes. All right, so here we go. Okay. Why does Michael J. Fox make the best milkshakes? He uses the finest ingredients. What do you call a black man on the moon? Nobody? An astronaut. I don't know what anybody you guys are thinking. Now, what's red and smells like blue paint?
Red paint.
Aha, good job.
He's reading these as we go along. It makes
Well,
for
no,
good.
just 'cause this one's so fun.
He's so excited.
A gorilla walks into a bar and orders a banana martini. The bartender thinks this is a little peculiar and then becomes aware he is actually dreaming. He wakes up from his dream and begins to tell his wife about the ridiculous dream he had. His wife just ignores him. The man rolls over and begins to sob because he realizes his marriage is in shambles.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh, number 10 here says, I still remember the last words my grandpa said before he kicked the bucket. He said, hey, how far do you think I can kick this bucket? I don't know what you guys are all thinking.
These are funny.
A group of Mexicans were in the back of a car. They were carpooling to save on gas. I know.
These are great.
These are anti-jokes. This one's a little rough, so I'm sorry for this one, but a man walks into a bar. His alcohol dependency is tearing his family apart. Yep.
Not haha.
No. Number 13 is I like my coffee like I like my women, without a penis.
Have you ever seen a woman with a penis?
Not in real life, no, but on the internet, you can pretty much see everything, whether you want to or not. If you watch the wrong things, you can see. Anyways, this isn't even Tuesday night, so I can't go there.
I've seen women with penises.
In real life? Like, not on the internet or TV? I just thought that was some internet shit. Right on. We were on our way up here, actually, coming up from the counseling office, and there was a she hooker worker thing. And I was pretty sure it was a dude, and she's like, I don't know. And she kept analyzing. Oh, yep, it's a dude. If you were to wear jeans and a T-shirt, it'd be, and I was like, I don't know, Dustin from down the street? You know, like, and she's like, who's Dustin? I said, I don't fucking know. I don't know. So anyways, a few more jokes here. What's red and bad for your teeth?
What?
A brick. An owl and a squirrel are sitting in a tree watching a farmer go by. The owl turns to the squirrel and says nothing because owls can't talk. The owl then eats the squirrel because it's a bird of prey. Number 16, we're going to jump ahead here.
Owl jokes are funny.
Your mama is so ugly that your father no longer finds her attractive, and now their marriage is in trouble. I know these are fucked. Why didn't Jesus play hockey?
Wait. No, go ahead.
Because baseball and soccer are much more popular sports in Mexico. I don't know why you thought this was going to be religious. I mean, there's one Jesus religiously, but there's a lot of Jesuses elsewhere. God, people, you people have to expand your thinking. Just because
I am really a very lateral thinker.
Right, but Jesus saves doesn't necessarily mean you. He might save pop cans. He recycles that shit. So,
I thought it was Jesus.
I
have a friend named Jesus who gave me 2 bearded dragons. Your girlfriend's name is Jesus? No, it's not.
No, my girlfriend's dad.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we know her. Her name is not Jesus. Hi to Jesus, by the way, if you're listening.
Well, hello, Jesus.
And Jesus.
Jesus is always listening.
Okay, I've only got a couple more. There's a ton more, but we'll just go with a few more. Wrap it up. What do a banana and a helicopter have in common?
Nothing.
Neither of them is a police officer. Come on, expand your mind. What do you call a black man who flies a plane?
A pilot.
You're catching on. Why isn't Helen Keller a good driver?
Because she's dead.
You are really doing good. Good job.
Thank you.
Most people would say because she's blind, and it's like that has nothing to do with it because she's dead.
Yeah.
She's not a good driver.
Yep.
Why couldn't the dinosaur break through the brick wall?
Because there wasn't any brick walls when he was alive.
I don't know. I was asking you the question. Yeah.
Those were fun.
I guess we'll call it good with that.
Those were fun. I like when you do joke night.
That was just too much.
Shelby, any parting thoughts for us tonight?
Not that I can think of.
No.
Comcast. You want to say your P?
Do you want to do it?
We should have a brief moment. So for anybody that lives in Colorado and realizes the joys that are internet providers here, it's pretty much Comcast and CenturyLink or Quest or whatever. It's the same shitty service, same shitty company, whatever. Comcast happens to be a terrible company with an amazing product. So
right.
For those of you that are familiar with them, if we can get it queued up and played right, I'd like to play a little skit here that it's tonight's public service announcement, and we'd like to thank Funny or Die for it. So without further ado, have a good chuckle. Right there. That's just superb. So that's kind of it. So Comcast loves you. We actually love you.
iCannabis loves you.
iCannabis really loves you. We don't.
Comcast wants to give you a good service that you'll continue to pay for, but beyond that,
Right. We just want to give you fucked up random content whenever we choose, more or less for free. So
more or less.
More or less. We enjoy our sponsors very much, and we're very grateful for them. But for those that aren't our sponsors, that we're consumers of, we will have public service messages for you if you continue to piss us off. There, I just felt good saying that.
That's good.
We probably won't, but we'll find something funny out there.
I want to thank our sponsors, speaking of which, Edson Maton and Matt's Mile High Wellness, Noda Urban Garden Supply, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies. If you're in Frisco, Colorado, this is the time of year to go. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful up in the mountains. Go check them out. Run on Grass, and of course, Cuffle Collimore and Company. Don't forget, on Wednesday from 11:30 to 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. is the Adam Dunn Show. They've been having some amazing guests, and you don't want to miss a moment. And the Hemp Connoisseur magazine show is on from 4 to 5 on Thursday. And of course, Jeremy and I are back on Mondays. If you're interested in being a sponsor or hosting a show, we're always interested in new show ideas and new sponsors. You can contact us on the custom form submission page on the website. Do it.
Yeah.
Join us. It's fun.
What she said.
What I said.
But I got here.
See? It's how Gabe got here, and we're happy to have him.
Right.
And we want to say congratulations, Gabe, for graduating from school. We are so proud of you. That's wonderful.
Good job, sir.
Yay! Life begins now.
Right?
Yes,
Well, see, and,
serious.
And on that note, I guess it's kind of the opposite way. I want to give a personal shout out to a friend who's no longer with us. Give one of those. I don't want to get too heartfelt because I'll start crying, but I want to just say a couple of weeks ago, our friend Rob Graywolf passed, and who is an activist here in Colorado that me and Jenny were friends with. And yeah, I just want to say that we miss you and love you, brother. So
Absolutely.
had to get that out there because, yeah, he deserves it.
He was a hard worker.
He was.
And sweet man.
So, are you sure you don't have anything else that you want to say? I mean, you get
Kiss the mic.
You could say
Kiss the
anything
mic.
that you want.
Kiss the
And a
mic.
special shout out to Nick.
Is that it? That's all you want to say? Just a shout out?
Can we shout out to Nick too?
Yeah, you can.
Hi, Nick.
Howdy, Nick.
What's up, Nick?
So this particular lady seems to talk about you often, so you better be a good fella. Well, not that often. You know, now she's...
I've never heard her talk about him one single time.
Right, so I don't know. I could be making all this shit up.
I'm getting a call.
Is that him?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't answer it because you're on the radio and we're talking about Nick right now, so...
Nick, thank you for watching or listening, because now that you've got a shout out, you've got to go back and listen.
Right. So
Yeah.
just know that the world really likes this blue-haired girl over here, so those that fuck with her...
Get their asses handed to them
handed to them.
in all kinds of horrible ways.
Yeah. But we know that that's not going to be you.
We're not worried about it.
This
Yeah.
woman's too wonderful, so we just don't foresee that happening.
Yep.
Anyways, I think that
Thank you for that.
she's turned an awfully bright shade of red. I don't
Hi,
know if
Nick.
That's anger or
Say hi to Nick.
frustration. Hello, Nick.
Hi,
is he
Nick.
out there? Is that him?
Wave at the camera.
Nick, are you dressed in drag? That's weird, Nick.
What the fuck is happening? That's some weird shit. I don't know what's going on now. Everything got weird.
All right, we got to go.
We do. So, good night, and good night to all my burner friends out there. I fucking love you guys.
What's a burner?
The most amazing kind of people on the planet.
All right, good night, my burner friends.
Good night.
Good night.